Camera's on, be smart.
Okay. Hi! Hi! Cheers! Hello, cheers, and welcome back to another video. My name is Taylor.
I'm Rayanne!
And today we are doing The Rye and the Catcher based off of the book, The Catcher in the Rye. It is not the most exciting name, I think, but we got it off of the Tequila Mockingbird book. We're gonna go ahead and try it.
Yeah, it looks pretty.
We decided to make that drink, and we read that book, and yeah, I don't think we're gonna like it, so let's do it.
Let's go for it.
Cheers!
That's not that bad.
I think it's not as bad because we've already been drinking like all day. I think if I would have had this as like the first drink, I would have been like, huh? But I think that since it's like my fourth drink of the day, I think it's pretty damn good. But needless to say, we are already a little bit tipsy, so let's jump into this.
So, today, like our Romeo and Juliet video, we wanted to actually do something fun before we talked about this book because like Romeo and Juliet, we also did not like Catcher in the Rye. So, we wanted to make it fun and entertaining.
I liked it better. I will say this. I have prefaced this that I hated Catcher in the Rye the first time I read it. I liked it better than the first time I read it. So there's something to say about that at least.
See, mine was the opposite. I liked it first because I didn't understand Holden, and now that I'm an adult and I understand Holden, I'm like, I don't think I like it as much, so.
See? We'll get into that later.
Yeah, later. So, we actually asked you guys to submit some numbers on our Instagram for our 1 through 36 facts about Catcher in the Rye. So we're actually going to go through, read them off, and talk about them a little bit.
Also, thank you guys so much for submitting numbers.
Yeah, thank you so much. We
actually got quite a lot.
We got a lot, and so we narrowed it down to kind of 4 that we picked randomly. So if you listed off any of these 4 numbers, then congratulations, we chose your number. But yeah, so we're going to go off. So number 17, whoever mentioned that, thank you.
By the way, this is the 36 things you probably didn't know about Catcher in the Rye. It's a BuzzFeed article.
So the 17th fact is, it is still proving controversial. It was the 10th most frequently challenged book in the US schools from 1990 to 99. Most recently, it made the top 10 in 2001, 2005, and again in 2009. So
I could see that.
Honestly, I was like reading it again as an adult. I understand why it was controversial. But yeah, something that we learned from one of our professors at Fullerton was that apparently this was written as a adult like book, and it's not written as a like children's book, which it's taught as like a young adult book. So I was like, I would understand why it would prove controversial because realistically it deals with a lot of adult issues that like kids shouldn't have to deal with.
It also deals with a lot of mental health issues, and I feel like as an American society, at least us in America, we have had a lot of issues with the way that we approach mental health. So I don't know if it's just because the way that it is approaching it is a little bit different and a little bit strenuous for American culture.
Yeah. Another one that somebody sent in was number 12. And it says, in 1960, a teacher in Tulsa, Oklahoma was fired for assigning the novel in class. He was later reinstated. This goes back into like the one that we literally just read about it being controversial, which is very interesting that somebody could get fired for assigning this book. That like blows my mind. But what did it say?
I feel like Romeo and Juliet was more controversial though.
Yeah, dude, it was about like kids killing themselves. You want to go for the last one?
12?
21.
21. Police found a copy of the novel in John Hinckley Jr.'s apartment after he shot Ronald Reagan in 1981. Hinckley said that he shot Reagan to impress actress Jodie Foster, whom he'd been stalking.
That's
so spicy.
Insane. That's crazy to me.
What was the novel that was in the, oh shit, what was the guy who tried to shoot somebody and the novel was in his pocket? No, it was somebody who shot not Paul McCartney, but the other guy in the Beatles.
Really?
What did he have in his pocket? John Lennon. Do you know what he had, Katie? Okay, guy who... We're gonna look it up right now. It was the Catcher in the Rye.
That's
so the guy who shot
crazy.
John Lennon had Catcher in the Rye in his pocket. So I wonder if that's in here somewhere.
I literally was just thinking, I was like, maybe we should try to find it.
It was number 20. Mark David Chapman, the man who shot John Lennon, was reading a copy of The Catcher in the Rye when he was arrested. He said in his police statement that the larger part of his personality was Holden Caulfield, while the smaller part of his personality was Satan.
Was Satan. Okay, so how would you describe yourself? Well, I'm a mix of Holden Caulfield and
oh my god,
Satan. Okay. What? Like, that's literally insane to me that somebody would describe themselves. They're like, yeah, you know, maybe I'm just a little, like, naive, a little bit dangerous. No. Specifically,
I want to say same, but like not same, but like
no.
that's so funny.
Not same whatsoever. Holden repeats a number of catchphrases through the book. The word phony appears 35 times in the book. Crazy appears 77 times. Goddamn appears 245 times, which I'm like, that's something that I noticed is that Holden Caulfield has a repetitive cycle of wanting to say the same thing over and over and over again. And it's like, it's known because like the joke about Holden Caulfield and phony is like talked about all the time as like a reference to being like, I read Catcher in the Rye, so I know Holden Caulfield says phony a lot. I'm like, yeah, cool, great, awesome. You like read the first 10 pages, you know. This BuzzFeed like little article is actually really interesting. So let's see, who wrote it? Dan Dalton. Thank you for that, because that was actually a lot of fun to read. So.
Yeah, we're gonna put it up. We're gonna put it down in the description so that you guys can also take a peek at it. It's really interesting. But now we are also going to take a BuzzFeed quiz that says who said it, Holden Caulfield or someone on Tumblr.
One thing that we were actually looking for when trying to film this video was some fun BuzzFeed quizzes, and there were literally none. And the same guy who did the
it's the same person.
It's the same person. Literally.
Go Dan Dalton.
So Dan Dalton created a quiz as well, and it's who said it, Holden Caulfield or somebody on Tumblr, and we'll switch off and do who said it, someone on Tumblr or Holden Caulfield.
Let's do this.
You want to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. Who said it? My motto is all humans could perish, nature will survive.
I'm gonna say Tumblr. I don't remember that.
Yeah, I was about to say, that seems very Tumblr.
Yeah.
It was. Okay.
Who has the Tumblr? Don't tell me. I don't want to know.
Yeah,
I will never tell you what my Tumblr is.
Okay. Do you want to read it out loud?
People are always ruining things for you.
Oh, that's definitely a Holden saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty easy. All morons hate it when you call them a moron.
Shit, that could be anybody. I think that Holden would say that, but I also think that someone on Tumblr would say it, but I'm gonna say Holden.
I was like, that's definitely something I remember from Holden saying. I'm like, God, this guy's... Can he say anything more?
I don't talk a lot. What's the point of talking? People never listen.
God, that has to be a Tumblr. There is nobody. Yeah.
I do think that Holden could have said that though.
Holden definitely could have.
But he does talk a lot.
God,
for someone who says that he hates talking, he talks a shit ton.
Oh, see, I know this one. I know this answer, so I'm going to ask you. I'm quite illiterate, but I read a lot. I remember that specifically. Whether I was on Tumblr or reading.
It's Holden.
Yeah, it has to be Holden. I know I ruined it. Sorry. Go ahead.
Sometimes I just wish I was someone's favorite person, the one you think about when something happens and you want to tell someone.
See, this I feel like is a very Tumblr thing. But I also feel like Holden probably said that it's like wise words of wisdom.
He would have said it in a different way though.
Yeah.
It's Tumblr.
Okay, everyone thinks they know best, but they don't know anything.
That's a hard one. I'm gonna say Tumblr.
I feel like it's too eloquently put.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt so tired?
Doesn't have the word goddamn in it.
Yeah, I know. I was like, it doesn't have phony in it, so we can't. Have you ever felt so tired of talking to people that you just want to shut everything off and have an indefinite amount of time alone?
This was supposed to be your answer.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I read it. Honestly,
I think it is Tumblr,
this is Tumblr. This is way too eloquently put.
We're so good at this.
God,
we haven't gotten a wrong answer yet.
Oh, I just pulled hair out. It's not like we haven't read the book or anything.
Yeah. So. As if we didn't just finish it this morning.
I know. Okay. Lonely and solitary are two completely different adjectives.
Tumblr.
Yes, ma'am!
We rock at this. Don't ever tell anybody anything. If you start, I want to talk about this. This is Holden.
Okay,
if you start missing everybody. This is the very last sentence, and we are going to spend some time on this shit.
Yes, we will.
most thought-provoking thing said in the whole novel.
All right, I don't exactly know what I mean by that, but I mean it.
Wait, isn't...
You were supposed to ask me that, but you answered it, so I'm going to ask you this one.
Sorry, I don't exactly know what I mean by that, but I mean it. Shit, that could be either. I'm going to say Holden. Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking it was Tumblr.
I hate everyone, but I like individuals.
See, this seems like a Holden thing to say. So I'm just going to click it and we could be wrong. No, it was Tumblr. It was Tumblr. Because I was like, that seems very Holden though.
He never even talks about liking individuals. There was only one part where he talks about something that he likes, and it was only about this guy who was dead.
Mothers are all slightly insane. I know, that's such like a random quote.
I'm going to say Tumblr too. Oh
See,
no!
I was thinking it was Holden, but I was like, I don't know where he would have said it.
I don't remember when he was talking about his mother.
When you're not looking, somebody will sneak up and f you right under your nose.
That's Holden. I remember that.
Ah, that's so funny.
That's a good section.
Okay.
There are two types of people in this world, and I am hiding from both of them.
I'm gonna say that's Tumblr, because that seems so moody to be Holden.
Although Holden is very moody.
Oh my god, he's all sorts of moody. I felt so lonesome all of a sudden, I almost wished I was dead.
That's Holden.
That is definitely Holden.
That's something that annoys the hell out of me. I mean, if somebody says the coffee's all ready and it isn't, that is Holden.
That is Holden 1,000,000%, because
so
he always talks like that. Annoys the hell out of me.
Yeah, that's when he's talking to his teacher who he thinks is a pervert.
Oh yeah. I hate people, but I want friends. That
Tumblr.
seems like Holden, but that's definitely got to be a Tumblr.
It has to be.
Yeah! I like it when somebody gets excited about something. It's nice.
Holden.
Hell yeah! Is that it? That was it!
Yeah! We only missed one! Well, we missed two. We missed two.
I think we might have skipped over one.
We each missed one.
Yeah, we each missed one.
Wait. I like watching people cry, but when people cry, they usually want you to comfort them, and that's so uncomfortable.
I feel like that's Holden.
I don't think so.
Oh, it was Tumblr.
I was gonna say, I don't remember that.
Okay.
Who wants flowers when you're dead? Nobody. Holden.
That was
I remember
Holden.
that.
I remember that because I listened to that coming over here.
So we got 3 wrong.
Yeah, we only got 3 wrong. That's
3
not
wrong,
bad.
that's pretty good.
Hell yeah!
Yeah! Okay, so as you can see, we definitely read the book this time.
Yes, we did!
So we just finished Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger, and basically what this book was about is about a moody teenage boy who's about 16 years old who doesn't really like anybody. He's going through some deep psychological issues, and the only person he really seems to like is his sister Phoebe.
Yep.
And even then, sometimes he hates her, so.
Oh yeah. He goes through such like bipolar moods, which is something that I do want to talk about.
Yeah.
Taylor mentioned to me, because I was trying to wrap my mind around this novel again, trying to figure it out, and I didn't realize that there was actual, like, what was it? Sorry, I keep picking hair off my arm.
I have a dog.
That there's, like, actual mental illness involved in this novel, and I had no idea, because I was like, he's just a little insane, and that's okay, but, like,
she thought it was like teenage insane, you know?
Yes.
Not actual mental
clinical,
illness. Yeah. He goes about telling a story of 3 days in his life where he reaches a tipping point. In the beginning, he talks about how his brother comes to visit him, so he's somewhere that he isn't normally.
Yeah.
And then in the very end, he's like, and that's how I got here. But like next summer is when I'm going to be going there. So he's like in this mental institution right before school is about to start in the fall.
I think he did mention a few chapters before that of being like, I'm not like, either being like, I'm not crazy or I don't need to see somebody. I think overall, like looking at it in that way, that I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. And I haven't even thought about the title, Catcher in the Rye. So I'm like, I do kind of want to delve a little bit deeper into what that actually means.
Well, did you hear the part where they mentioned the Catcher in the Rye?
No. Nope.
Oh, so he's telling this story to his little sister Phoebe, where she asks him, like, is there anything that you actually like, anything that you want to do? And he can't think of anything that he likes until he's like, the only thing that I could see myself being is this guy who catches kids.
Thank you, off-camera assistant. The meaning of The Catcher in the Rye. The title, The Catcher in the Rye, is reference to Coming Through the Rye, a Robert Burns poem and a symbol for the main character's longing to preserve the innocence of childhood. Thank you. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so we actually started making a lot of headway into these themes going on, mostly in the theme of the actual Catcher in the Rye, which we looked up and we had said before was somebody that idealizes innocence, I think, if I can remember correctly. I'll just preface to what I said earlier. And we just found the actual quote of what Holden thinks The Catcher in the Rye is.
Yeah, so this is what I was trying to come up with earlier, which we finally found, thank God, to Control F. If you're in college and you don't understand what the PDF is, where you Control F and find your area, let me tell you that is the way to go. That's how I made it through college. I thought it was, if a body catch a body, I said. Anyway, I keep picturing all these little kids playing some game in this big field of rye and all. Thousands of little kids and nobody's around, nobody big, I mean, except me. And I'm standing on the edge of the cliff. I mean, if they're running and they don't look where they're going, I have to come out from somewhere and catch them. That's all I do all day. I just be there, the catcher in the rye and all. I know it's crazy, but that's the only thing I'd really like to do. I know it's crazy. So basically, the only thing that he can think of to do in his whole entire life, not be a doctor, not be a lawyer, all he can think to do is basically be there for children who need help.
Yeah. Yeah, which is actually like insane if you think about it, as like a Catcher in the Rye is somebody that idealizes innocence, which he does with Phoebe a lot, and it makes sense because you like see him literally being like, the only good person in the world is my kid sister and she's just a kid. And it's like, if I were to die and I were to like have a funeral, I know my mom would at least save her because, well, she's a kid. Like, he idealizes the youth of like the world, and he doesn't idealize like growing up or being older, because he thinks that, well, everybody that grows older is a phony because they're all acting a certain way, which, I mean, respectively, I understand.
I think you also have to recognize, though, that he's not only dealing with depression, which he mentions multiple times that things are making him depressed, but he's also dealing with bipolar disorder.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not, like, a psychology major, so obviously I don't know this shit, but basically the way that he reacts to, like, take things like his sister, like he loves his sister and he always wants to go talk to her, and the second he goes and talks to her and she says something that he doesn't agree with, he's like, I really hated her in that moment.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
I don't know what it was, but now I hate her. Like, it's just like this idea of like this back and forth.
Yeah, like he does that with a lot of characters where he strictly is like, man, like take my homegirl, Sally Hayes, whatever her name is. She straight up is like, oh, let's do this and this. And he's like, in that moment, I could marry her. I could do all of these things. I could be with her forever. And then it's like 2 seconds later, she'll be like, actually, I don't really like this. And he literally is like, I hate her. I don't want her near me. I'm like, what is going on? I'm so confused.
Poor Sally.
I know, poor Sally. All she wants to do is like date Holden.
So yeah, least favorite characters. Both of us are Holden.
Holden Caulfield, because he's an asshole.
I also think I hate Stradlater. Because Stradlater, he's not that bad, but like, I have never been, I don't know if it's just because like I was a good student, but like I haven't always been a good student, but can you imagine just like expecting somebody else to like write a paper for you? Like not even paying them, not asking anything. He's such a bully. He was just like, hey, I'm going out with your friend.
Look.
And I'm gonna need you to write my composition because that's the only thing you're good for.
So I think Holden has, you know, just, what is it, bipolar disorder. He has depression, but I also think he has ADHD, because I was like, this boy, or maybe not ADHD, but ADD, where his mind is just like jumping all the time. Yeah. And he specifies so distinctly onto different like personality or like different things. Like he goes to the random thing. I think in chapter like 18 or so, he goes to the movies while he's waiting for Old Luce, and there's the woman there.
My lips and my nose are getting so numb.
Oh no, that means we're done almost.
We're almost done. We're almost done.
At the movies, he is like, there's this woman that's crying, and he hones in so specifically.
There's a dog.
Anyway, this old woman.
I'm sorry, I just kicked my dog thinking it was a pillow.
He details so specifically on this woman, and I think it's very interesting to take note of. But with Taylor's, you know, oh shit.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
With Taylor's drunkenness and my drunkenness going on, I think it's time that we go ahead and rate The Catcher in the Rye.
Wait, there's one more thing I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
So it doesn't have anything to do with like characters or anything, but I guess we can go into themes. There is the very last sentence that we actually brought up earlier in the BuzzFeed quiz, is really insane, where it says, it's funny, don't ever tell anybody anything. If you do, you start missing everybody. And I think that that's like one of the most thought-provoking things in the whole entire book, because it's basically about giving away, like when you tell somebody something that means something to you, it's giving away a piece of you. So he's basically telling the psychoanalyst, like, hey, like, this is my whole entire life. I am giving this to you, and now, like, I don't know what to do after this. Does that make sense?
It does, and it's something that I never really I never really quite thought of.
I can't tell if I'm making sense or if I'm just super drunk.
No. You are like actually making sense, and maybe this is just a drunk person.
I look at Katie.
You're like, am I making sense?
Katie, the sober one, do I make sense?
Perfect.
And also when you share that with somebody else, it doesn't like, it's almost this feeling of like it doesn't die with you, because Holden explores that a lot when he like talks about death and his brother Allie.
Yeah.
He talks about like Allie would never like that, or Allie would love this, and then it's like this idea that when you share something with somebody else, it's like almost leaving your legacy. And I think that's what Holden also gets stuck on, is he's like, I want to leave this certain legacy, and I want to leave these things, these ideas with certain people, but I don't want to leave it with everybody.
Well, I just feel like we're getting so deep into this, and we straight up were like, we hate this book, and we're like, wait.
I guess you have to read Catcher in the Rye drunk.
Catcher in the Rye drunk, and then make the rye in the catcher. And it is actually relatively, it's a good drink. So
honestly, I thought I was gonna hate it. First of all, I hate whiskey. I hate ginger. Those are the only two things that I hate. But overall, this drink is pretty damn good. I don't hate it.
Like this book.
I keep sipping it.
Like this book, this drink is damn good, where you wouldn't think that you would like it right off the bat, but you actually read it again a few years later and you're like, this is actually kind of good.
Earlier, I would have probably given this book a 2.5 stars. Now that we
Same.
have been discussing it and actually talking about the deeper meanings, I think I'm going to give it a 3.5, because there are parts of this book that make me really think. We are so drunk. We filmed
drunk.
2 videos before this.
Yeah, we did.
And I'm also holding a dog, if you can't tell. Can you tell, Katie? This is my dog, Luna. I've been petting her, if you see me looking down.
Hi,
But
I know.
can you see her?
You're good, but your camera's about to shut off.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for watching.
Thank you for
I gave it a 2.5. Wait, no, I gave it a 3.5 stars.
I would give it a 4.5. No, a 4.0 stars. I really like Catcher in the Rye. Thank you for everything.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Bye.
Also, look at our Instagram. It's at Tipsy_book_talks.
It'll be linked down below.
It'll be linked down below. Thank you for everything. We hope you liked it. If you enjoyed anything about Catcher in the Rye, let us know in the comments. Okay, bye.
Bye.